If you're a homeowner, I want to save you some money. So just give me a couple of minutes and allow me to explain. If you have a property anywhere in the United States, I'm going to share with you a mistake that I don't want you to make. Welcome back, by the way. My name is Sarah Mesley. I'm a broker associate in San Diego, California. I'm with Real Broker, and let's talk about a mistake that I see a lot of sellers make. So the first thing to understand is the toughest type of property to sell. I've been selling properties for 15 years. The toughest type of property to sell is not a fixer-upper. Even properties that are condemned, that are going to be bulldozed the next day, those are actually very easy to sell because we can go straight to investors, and that is what they are looking for. A property that is remodeled and beautiful, those are often easy to sell too, of course, if priced correctly. But the type that is a little bit more tricky, that you absolutely have to make sure that you price correctly, is the type of property that's in the middle. So it's not completely remodeled. Maybe it has some elements that are remodeled, and then it has some elements that are kind of a fixer-upper or just extremely dated. And here's why. In my experience, there are two main categories of buyers. So the first category is the type of buyer that wants a remodeled, beautiful turnkey home, and they have the budget to reflect that. If it's someone that really wants a beautiful remodeled home, but they don't have the budget to reflect it, then they just aren't a qualified buyer in that category at the moment. The next is the type of buyer that knows that they're going for a project and they want to make it their own. This could include flippers, but it's not always a house flipper or an investor. Sometimes it's just a couple or a family or a single person who want to invest by doing some work to a property, whether they're fixing it up to sell, whether they're going to rent it or even move into it. I've done this before for myself. That type of buyer is expecting the project to have continuity. A lot of times they are working with one contractor. They have identified the types of materials and the colors that they would like to use throughout, and they want that consistency. For example, a buyer may want the same flooring all throughout the downstairs of the home, a luxury vinyl plank, and they don't want to have, carpet in one room and then tile in the other room that's still visible from that room, and then vinyl planks in the other room. They want one flooring. Well, the same goes for things like quartz countertops in the bathroom. They also want the same type in the kitchen. So a lot of times they want that consistency. So the problem as a homeowner is, let's say you have a home that is very dated, and then you think, I'm going to give you a recent example, but of course, naming no names. So someone recently said to me they had a very dated property, and in their primary bathroom, they had a sliding glass door, like the mirror door, actually, not sliding glass. They had the mirror doors to the walk-in closet. And they said, do you think that we should replace this with a beautiful barn door? Which of course would be really, really lovely. But when the rest of the property needs probably several $100,000 worth of work, even if you invest in, say, a $3,000 gorgeous barn door. The problem is, if you remember that buyer that wants the consistency and wants to make those choices of the colors and the materials that they want, if they come in and then now you've got a beautiful barn door, but it has black all around it, or it's a blue shade, but they've decided that their color scheme is going to be tan or gray. This just doesn't go with what they want. Or even if it does, they're going to have the frustration of having to work around it. So a lot of times that actually ends up being a waste of money. I'm sorry to say this, but you can't simply invest a couple $1,000s into something like a barn door or one or two new windows and then expect that the whole property value is raised significantly. So does that mean that those types of properties are unsellable? Absolutely not. They are very sellable. You just have to reflect it in the price. So yes, while other properties in the neighborhood, if they were remodeled, they're going to be going for a higher price. But that's okay because you don't have to put money into your property. So if you have a property that's dated or something like that, and if you're getting ready to sell, there are going to be certain things that will bring you a return on investment. Those things are going to be decluttering, organizing. You can never go wrong with that. Less is more. But that's not really an investment of money unless you're hiring it out. It's typically an investment of time, and it's a worthy investment. Sometimes things like just fixing up things that are not working or paint, things like that, cleaning is always going to be helpful. But when it comes to spending a few $1,000s for, let's say, an upgraded sliding door or something like that, is often just not worth it, and you're not going to see that money back. So you would be better to simply price it accordingly, do nothing. It's less stress for you, price it accordingly, and get the property sold. This is why I love to meet with future home sellers in San Diego, even if they're like 6 months or a year out, because we can come up with a future plan or like a game plan for what type of things they should do in the future and what type of things they shouldn't do. So if you are somewhere other than San Diego and you're curious about what you should do to your property in the future, if you want to talk to a great agent, I am happy to refer you on. So what questions do you have about real estate? I'm happy to answer anything. Just put a comment below. And of course, if you're thinking about buying or selling a property in San Diego, you can just give me a call. Have a great day.